Every single night, you and we all go on this incredible journey. We spend hours inside a world built completely by our own minds. One moment we're flying, the next we're falling. We meet people we've never seen before and live out these impossible, vivid scenarios. So today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most mysterious and universal parts of being human: our dreams.
So what are they, really? Are they just random noise from a brain that's powering down? Are they secret messages from our unconscious? Or something else entirely? We've all woken up from a dream, right? Feeling totally confused or happy or maybe even terrified, just wondering, where did that come from?
Well, in this explainer, we're going to try and find out. We're going to look at what's actually happening in your brain when you dream, we'll unpack the huge debates about what they mean, and we'll even see how dreams have literally shaped history. So, let's start with the science.
First things first, let's talk biology. Because to really get what dreams are, you have to start with where they happen, inside the amazing engine that is our sleeping brain.
You've probably heard of REM sleep, right? Rapid eye movement. Well, that's where most of our really vivid dreaming goes down, and it's often called paradoxical sleep for a really good reason. It's this bizarre state where your brain is buzzing with activity, almost like you're wide awake, but your body is completely still, a total paradox.
So let's break that paradox down. On one hand, your brain activity is lit up, looking almost identical to when you're awake. And your emotional centers, they're cranked up to 11, which is why dreams can feel so incredibly real and intense. But, and here's the kicker, your logic center, the prefrontal cortex, has basically checked out. It's offline. And that's exactly why dreams can be so weird and nonsensical. And this all happens while your body is, for all intents and purposes, locked in place. This lockdown, this temporary muscle paralysis, has a name. It's called atonia. And honestly, it's a critical safety feature. Think about it. It's what stops you from physically jumping out of bed when you dream you're flying, or from punching your pillow when you're fighting off a monster. Your brain literally hits a mute button on your body.
But what happens when that system glitches? Well, you get two completely opposite and pretty fascinating conditions. On one side, you've got sleep paralysis, which you might know from folklore as karabasan. This is when your mind wakes up, but that body lock, the atonia, is still on. You're aware, but you can't move a muscle. It can be absolutely terrifying. And on the total flip side, you have REM behavior disorder. This is where the lock fails to turn on at all. The body isn't paralyzed, so people start physically acting out their dreams. We're talking shouting, running, the whole thing, all while they're sound asleep. It really shows you what a delicate balancing act this all is.
Okay, so we've got a handle on how we dream, biologically. But that just leads to the bigger million-dollar question. Why do we dream? For that, we've got to turn to psychology and a legendary debate between two giants, Sigmund Freud and his one-time student, Carl Jung.
For Sigmund Freud, the answer was pretty clear. He famously said that dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. He believed they were a kind of secret code, a hidden stage, where all of our deepest, most repressed wishes and fears, a lot of them sexual in his view, could finally come out and play, disguised in symbols.
So for Freud, it was all about looking backward. He thought dreams were windows into our past traumas and suppressed desires, and that you needed a trained psychoanalyst to decipher their universal, often sexual symbols. But Jung, he totally disagreed. He saw dreams as being forward-looking tools, helping us find balance and grow as people. He argued that symbols could be universal, sure, but they were also deeply personal. And most importantly, Jung believed that you, the dreamer, were the best person to interpret your own dreams. No expert needed.
Now, this whole debate over what dreams mean, it's not just a modern thing. For thousands of years, dreams have been seen as this incredibly powerful force, sometimes even powerful enough to build or topple empires. So let's zoom out a bit and look at the role dreams have played across all of history. See, for most of human history, dreams weren't considered personal at all. They were public. In the ancient world, a king's dream was seen as a divine prophecy, a message from the gods that could legitimize his right to rule. But the thinking started to shift. Get this. Over 2,000 years before Freud, Plato was already suggesting that dreams might actually reveal our own hidden desires. Still, this idea of dreams as powerful political tools stuck around for centuries, like with the famous founding dream of the Ottoman Empire. It's really only in the modern scientific era that we've turned the focus inward, from messages from gods to the neurology of our own brains.
So, we've covered the biology, the psychology, and the history. Now, for the final piece, let's explore the very edges of the dream world itself, from our worst nightmares all the way to taking conscious control.
And that brings us to something truly mind-bending, the lucid dream. This is that incredible moment when you wake up inside your dream. You become aware that you're dreaming, and with that awareness, you can often start to control the story, the setting, everything.
So how is that even possible? Well, remember how we said the prefrontal cortex, your brain's logic and reasoning center, is usually switched off during REM sleep? Well, in a lucid dream, it switches back on. That part of your brain that handles self-awareness and decision-making just reactivates, letting you bring your waking mind right into the dream world. It's amazing.
And believe it or not, this isn't just a random fluke. Lucidity is a skill that people actually practice and develop. It often starts with something simple, like keeping a dream journal to get your brain used to paying attention to your dreams. Another popular trick is the reality check. All day long, you get in the habit of asking, "Am I dreaming?" and checking something stable, like looking at your hands. The idea is, if you do it enough when you're awake, you'll eventually do it in a dream and realize what's happening. There's even a technique where you repeat an intention as you fall asleep, just telling yourself over and over, "I will remember I am dreaming."
So, from a biological paradox in our brains, to a tool for emperors, to a literal playground for our conscious minds, it's clear that dreams are so much more than just nightly movies. They are a fundamental, mysterious, and deeply fascinating part of what makes us human, reflecting our bodies, our histories, and our inner selves. Which really just leaves one last question to think about. What are your dreams telling you?